Alright, a little update because I didn't get the truck out this weekend. We're having issues with these hanging open. Uh, I had the lighter spring that comes with them. That's like 10 or 14 inches of vacuum. They have a heavier spring that's 18 to 22 inches of vacuum. I put a vacuum gauge on this. This thing has about 12 inches of vacuum at idle. And then as soon as you rev it up, it goes way up. But they're wanting to hang open. We changed them to the stiffer spring, put the stiffer spring in it after I finally found them, right, I'd put them up, and then they don't want to open. When they do open when you let off, it's making a little bit of pressure back against the turbo, causing the turbo to flutter. So rather than just try to buy like some tile springs and put in them or clip the spring or anything like that, since we have so much money invested in this, I went ahead and I bought the Turbo Smart electronic boost controller. I bought an extra solenoid from Turbo Smart for it. Also got the oil pressure regulator from Turbo Smart. I bought two new Raceport 50mm Turbo Smart blow-off valves and spring kits for them. And I went ahead and bought the matching 45mm Turbo Smart Hypergate wastegates and all the springs for them, which will probably end up using a low pressure spring because the boost controller is going to control it. So all of that is ordered. It was all ordered through Jags. I ordered it yesterday. Today's Wednesday, yesterday's Tuesday. My wife sat down. I was looking at stuff, talking about it. And she said, just order all of it, get all of it. So you got good stuff. And we're not messing with this. Now the gates worked flawlessly. I ain't got nothing against the gates in VS Racing. They worked very well. But again, they have a tile diaphragm and a tile spring in them. These I'm just not going to mess with anymore. Okay? Not at all. I'm just not going to mess with them. So that stuff's coming. And I messaged Turbo Smart USA out there in Ontario, California. The lady come back and told me all of that's in stock. She checked the order. Everything's good to go. Supposedly I'll have it Friday, but we'll wait and see. Something else we did is I wanted to add a little green accent to the wheels. Now the front wheels didn't turn out as nice as I thought. I don't know if I like it or not. But instead of going ahead and just painting them, we used Plastidip. It's not the exact shade of green. It's pretty close, but it's not the exact shade. There's the front ones. I've got to get in there and peel it out of the lug holes. There's one I already started down there. But taped them off, did that. Both front wheels. And then I did it to the bead locks as well. And I did Plastidip that way. You know, you can see it ain't perfect where I taped it. But that way, yeah, those things are a bitch to get out. So I put one back. I didn't take another one out. That way, if I don't like it, I can just peel it off. Okay? And if down the road I really do like it, then I'll take them in. And I got a friend of my son's that can paint much better than I can. And he's real good at masking stuff off. And I'll let him do it. But taped it off. Did it with Plastidip. Did both of them. If I really like it, I'll go ahead and do these. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it. So... yeah, and I took the damn slicks back off to tape these up. So I got to put them back together. I think I'm going to put a tube in them this time instead of doing them tubeless. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy the tubes and put in them from Hoosier. That I've got the other RPM control module coming that will go beyond 5200 for the main rev limiter. I didn't realize when I ordered them, I ordered two of the same damn thing. I thought I ordered the one that goes from like 4600 up to 8000, and I didn't. I ordered the two that only go to 5200, which the one for the trans brake's fine, but the one for the main rev limiter, I wanted something higher than 5200. So right now, as you can see, it's unplugged, and I've got a 6000 chip in the two-step to replace that one. But again, it did real good on 3 pounds. I can't complain. So no leaks, no nothing. No water and oil, oil and water, nothing swapping spots. So the blow-through carburetor from IRD did good. I'm probably going to have to make some adjustments to it, but after we bring the boost up, then we'll see what it does. Because right now it's rich down low, but as soon as you get the RPMs up, it comes out of it. It's still a little rich. But with 3 pounds of boost, that's expected, and the fact it's got a 1/16 jet in it front and back. So we're just going to play around with it. Hopefully that stuff gets here and we can get it out this coming weekend. But I thought before I went out and mowed the yard real quick, I'd kind of do this, let everybody know what's going on. Yep, we're going to go to Turbo Smart. I was looking at tile stuff because I knew tile was good. And a friend of my son's that works with him over at Toyota, that's a tech, this kid's got a real badass little Subaru, said that Turbo Smart stuff is very good. So that's what I went with. That way the boost control, everything's all Turbo Smart. And we went ahead and, like I said, got one of those oil pressure regulators. I got a new block from Motion Raceworks too, so I can get rid of this air ride block that seems to keep wanting to weep because the threads that are tapped in it are Chinese pipe thread, and all of my fittings are American made pipe thread, and they don't seem to want to jive up right. You know, they're just, the block is bigger than the fittings. Common issue, something made in China. And it was an Accuride, I think it's an Accuride block. So it's for air ride, but I was using it for oil. But it keeps wanting to weep around where the oil temperature sender is in the block. And I'm going to put the pressure regulator to knock the oil pressure down from like, this thing makes like 90 to 95 PSI at $5,000. By the time it goes through the cooler in the block, you lose about 10 pounds. So you're still getting 80 to 85 PSI and an unrestricted dash 4 fitting into the turbo. So, and I got dash 10 drains going straight, a straight downhill shot to the pan. So they drained fine. There wasn't no issue with them smoking or anything, but I don't want to end up blowing seals or something out. So we're going to put the regulator on it and regulate it down to 40 pounds going to the turbos out of the cooler. And little 19-row oil coolers right there. So, and then I moved the tranny cooler, of course. It's a 30-row with a little 9 or 10-inch spow fan is under the driver's seat, basically, on the frame bracing that we put in. So, and it's got a fan pulling a shitload of air through it, so I don't think it'll be an issue. Got to get a little bit stiffer spring for right here, because when you let off of it, it wants to idle at 1500. It doesn't want to pull it back all the way sometimes. It's kind of lazy. So we're going to get a little, I'll just add the inner spring that come with this one to it. So, but other than that, that's it. I got to pull the plugs. I want to see what the plugs say, and then we'll go from there. But that's just kind of a little update. That is why I didn't get it out this weekend. Doing all this stuff. And while it's sitting here, and these parts ain't going to be here till Friday, I think what we might end up doing, and my son said something about it, is just go ahead and pull it apart. These are like a towing package brake for an S10. And you can see there's the Speedway tubular control arms. But I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and pull these off, put the strange brakes that I got for it on it, put the spawn lower tubular lowers on it, take the sway bar off of it. We're going to get rid of the sway bar. I don't know. I might keep it. If I do, I'll put new bushings in it. I can go get a set of energy suspension bushings and put in it. I can buy them locally. They got them right up here at the O'Reilly's. And then put the Viking coilovers on the front. So, but yeah, you can see them little $50 greasable tubular control. And that's just a regular stock S10 Moog ball joint. You don't need the tall ball joint to go in there. So. But, yep, that's about the size of it. So far, so good. Nothing's weeping, leaking, or puking. So, and you can see I feed the oil cooler off the front oil port. And then I got a pressure gauge on the back one too, so I got oil pressure the front and back of the motor. So the big 2-quart Moroso filter, you can see where my steering column comes out, flattens out, and goes over to the box. I got to put my plug wire looms back on it because we pulled it apart when I put new plugs in it before we drove it, and I didn't put them back on to get the wires over against the block so they're not in the steering column. And then you can see there's the oil drain, comes in, goes right down to the pan. And this little thing is actually for an arm that goes from there up to the head to hold the motor over. So, but other than that, it's doing fine. So, anyhow, oh, that's all that's going on. Oh yeah, and I got to put the heat shield products cover over the master cylinder. And if this thing keeps blowing, I mean, these caps, look, they just pop off. And this is supposed to mean it was supposedly a nice master cylinder, but it's not. They leak. Every time I hit the brakes hard, it'll leak. So, and you can just pop these off. I've shimmed them with cut sides out of an antifreeze jug and tried to shim them, and you shim them too much, then they won't stay on, they'll just pop off. So we might look into getting a different master for it. Willwood and Strange both make one. I may just buy one from them and put on it because that thing's getting on my nerves. But other than that, everything's good. So if I get out here and do all this shit that I'm saying, I'll make a video of us doing it, and then we'll get it back out this weekend and play with it. I might even put the bead locks on it and roll them just to do it. So. I'm glad I got them. The wind just blew my door shut back there. I'm glad I got those because Kaiser ended up catching fire. So, everybody stay safe. God bless. And when I get back out here, I'll put something up that's a little more interesting than this later.